Greetings, what is up, and a very warm welcome to the channel. The sun is hiding, the rain is pouring, and the magpie is casting. Coming to you guys right now with the finals, and only the finals, for which I apologise, of Artifact Cup number 8 in Homeworld Deserts of Kharak. Yep, just the finals this time. Artifact Cup number 8 is like 2.5, 3 weeks old now, so I do apologise for the delay bringing that to you guys. I've just been incredibly busy, so I'm only going to cast the finals. The finalists were AGameAnx, I will get his name right, I promise, maybe one day, sometime. And Tren. So, yep, two stalwart players here going to be returning. Looks like Tren playing as Kharak forces. So let's hop on into the action. Map number 1 in this best of 5. Going to be Tren Crater. So yeah, AGameAnx, an omnipotent monster, an evil octopus of RTS. He has like many tentacles which are capable of just doing everything. He is always spreading out onto the map. He is always attacking at every location. He's always finding everyone's weakness. He's just a brutal player to play against, and just a very accomplished RTS player. So yes, and it will be he playing in the black and grey Galzian forces here, spawning. Whoa, spawning in the south. It's been a while since I've had to do the old intro in Deserts of Kharak. So yeah, spawning in the south as the Galzian forces, it is AGameAnx, and spawning in the north, playing as the Kharak forces, it is Tren. So what can we say about Tren? Well, Tren is a player who has learned fast and hard. He has been playing Deserts of Kharak now for quite a long time. He's made it to the finals quite a few times, and he's played against AGameAnx in those finals a number of times. And I've spoken to him, and it is kind of a personal goal of his to defeat the monster that is AGame in at least one of these Artifact Cup finals. So best of luck to you, Tren, my friend. If anyone can do it, it's going to be you. Tren is definitely an all-round and accomplished player. He's a very good player, but I've yet to see him kind of achieve the consistency, the consistently competent level that AGameAnx has played. Now, I mean, Tren's taken games with AGameAnx, and he's a very good player, so he can do this. And like I say, of all the people I've ever watched playing this game, or maybe even any RTS, Tren has learned the most, the fastest. Like, in the first few Artifact Cups I cast, he was kind of like, you know, so-so, but, you know, even game on game, series on series, he's been getting better, faster, so... So I just pause here for a sip on my drink. Yeah, I fully believe if he keeps on doing it, he will be able to, and there's no better way to learn an RTS than to play against a skilled or more skilled opponent, and AGameAnx usually is that more skilled opponent. Doesn't matter who he's playing, he's normally that guy. So anyway, let's take a look at the situation here for AGameAnx. For AGameAnx, it looks like he did retire his base runner, which is a pretty good sign that he's going to be mounting some aggression. So let's just check the research here. Assault ship fabrication going to be coming on here. So this is probably going to be 2 production cruiser assault ship aggression here from AGameAnx. A very aggressive build that can do a lot of damage if it hits home and is not scouted. For Tren, well, we've got sand skimmers out in the field already. We do not have a second production cruiser. We do not have a second production cruiser. Oh, sorry, we do have a second production cruiser. Oh, God. All right, so it looks like Tren's going to be doing a 2 production cruiser attack with sand skimmers as the focus. Now, we've kind of seen Tren do this before on this map, and I think it may even have been against AGame, actually. But he just didn't quite, like, convert it. Like, there were a couple of opportunities where I think he actually could have taken the game. It was on this map, and it was these opening builds, but he just didn't quite do it. And the reason why, he let his opponent's production carrier slip away instead of focusing it down. So anyway, now AGame sees the amount of sand skimmers that are out. He probably comprehends his doom, although he hasn't actually seen the 2 production cruisers, so he doesn't know exactly what flavour of death is on its way to him. Now, if Tren was paying attention, he would have just seen a little red blip there, I think. And yeah, okay, so Tren is going to retask this sand skimmer with pursuing this one here, which is going to be good because otherwise his salvagers are just going to be getting harassed by a lone sand skimmer now. The assault ship fabrication has finished here for AGame, and the first 2 assault ships are going to be coming out here momentarily, so already the window beginning to close here for Tren. Tren, buddy, you got to hit sooner. See, he could have been in attacking a production cruiser, and there would have been nothing here to defend it. You got to come in faster, buddy. And now 2 assault ships are out, and that is night and day. Assault ships tear through, they tear through sand skimmers like a velociraptor through wet papier mâché. You know, they're just like pow, pow, pow. They just smash through big AoE attacks. Their armor is proof against the sand skimmers to a large extent. Having said that, no armor upgrades are finished just yet, so these sand skimmers are able to nip in for a bit of damage on one of these. And, you know, we've seen it before. 2 production cruiser openings that spew out a lot of sand skimmers can trade for a ton of damage against the actual assault ships themselves. So look, AGame is going to leave 2 assault ships on defense, and then he's going to lance across the map with his production cruisers and the remaining assault ships. Now let's check the tech here for AGamer. He's oopsie. He has not gone for railguns at this time. This sand skimmer is actually being like totes annoying. Okay, it's going to die now, but it's actually managed to get a bit of damage onto one of these harvesters, which is just a little frustrating. Tren, oh my god. Okay, so he's kind of done it again. Like, he has all this force, but he hasn't been using it. So all this money in sand skimmers has not been efficient. It hasn't been being spent. No bullets have been being fired, no lasers even. So that's kind of a waste for Tren. Like, if he has all this force, but he's not using it until right now, you're better off going for assault ships because they're more efficient. So if you're planning on using your force now, then going for assault ships is always going to be better. So I'm not, like, I just question the execution here from Tren. He had the sand skimmers, he had them, but he just didn't kind of. You got to be more ballsy and commit to the attack. Anyway, his salvage is getting hosed here. He's lost 3 there. Ouch, those AoE shots. Pretty beefy on the assault ships. So this is going pretty badly right now for Tren. The carrier is here to defend. Going to be hosing down these assault ships. And he's going to get a couple, but oh my god, he's just going to lose all his salvages. Well, without wanting to sound overly dramatic, that is basically game. Because there's nothing there's nothing left. There's nothing left for Tren. He's lost all of his economy, and now he will just be hounded to death by assault ships. I'm pretty sure this is over. There's no way back, right? I mean, how can you come back from this? Even if he had railguns researched, he has no money to build them, so pretty sure he's just dead. So getting off to, I think it's fair to say, pretty bad start. You know, this is massively awkward at best. He's going to try and hold here with his carrier. You saw he was firing the cruise missiles off out of that thing. Looks like he's put the power into mobility systems, and he's just going to GG. Yep, that is appropriate. So
enemy carrier has been neutralized.
This happened before in a finals. I think it was a finals that I cast, and where Tren went for the 2 production cruiser sand skimmer timing, and AGamer went for the 2 production cruiser assault ship timing, and that means that there's a window where you've got like 10, 12, 14 sand skimmers, and your opponent basically has nothing. And if you get in and destroy their production cruisers, you will win. And if you don't, you will not win. You might not lose necessarily, but things are going to be hard. So in this case, Tren was just kind of hanging out in this area of the map with all those sand skimmers. He sent some in to kind of have a poke, but he saw some assault ships and was just like, yeah, and just kind of went back. Like, so you've got to hit before then to kill the production cruisers, and if you don't hit before then, you've still got to commit everything to do damage, because that many sand skimmers could just have taken those 2 assault ships on defense and gone for damage. So like, plan B, you can still try and get something done, but the worst thing you can possibly do is put all your eggs into the sand skimmer basket, not use that basket, and then throw them all away trying to defend against what is by that time a superior, way more efficient poke with assault ships that comes into your front door. And as we saw, it doesn't work. You just die. So yeah, again, like, I think he could have won that. Like, in terms of build orders, like, he had the winning build there, but unable to execute. So it's going to be 1-0 in AGamer's favor here in this best of 5. So we're going to move on to game 2, which is where I will catch you. Greetings and welcome back to game 2 in this best of 5. AGameAnx right now up 1 game. I get over Tren. Not exactly, you know, if you were a betting person, you probably would have put money that way if you know what you're on about. A-game, probably the superior player, but Tren's taken games off of him before, and, you know, I have faith that he will be able to make something happen in this series. So we'll have to see. I mean, he can definitely do it, Tren. He can definitely do it. So we'll have to see if he's able to do so. Spawning in the south, playing as the grey and black Galzian forces, it is AGameAnx. And spawning in the north, playing as the white and... Oh, sorry, as the yellow and red Knef forces, it is Tren. Whoopsie. Man, the zoom, I always just get it wrong on this game. So, okay, yeah, them's the players. This is the battle. Let's see what happens. So, immediately, has AGameAnx retired his base runner? He has, and he's building a production cruiser, so we're going to see some aggression here out of AGameAnx for certains here, for reals, for show. He is down. He is like all about that aggression, bro. Let's check here for Tren. Looks like... Okay, it looks like he has retired his base runner, but no second production cruiser just yet. He's got sand skimmer fab, and he's going to be researching. He's going to be... I imagine he'll be building another production cruiser here shortly. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. So yeah, AGameAnx is going to be aggressive. We'll have to see exactly what the choice of tech is. Is he going to go with assault ships? Is he not? Or is he going to do an assault railgun push? We haven't seen those for some time. It's an interesting stone, paper, scissors. If you and your opponent are both going for 2 production cruiser aggression, which is, you know, the most efficient, lean, mean, aggressive kind of build that you can do in the early game, the fastest, most hardest hitting one is sand skimmers. But sand skimmers get beaten by assault ships, which don't cost that much more and only arrive slightly later. So the assault ship push is like much better if you can survive to get it out. And then finally, the assault railgun push beats assault ships handily and can beat sand skimmers depending on the engagement and the numbers involved. So those are your options. You know, you've got 3 options pretty much. And it's interesting, always interesting to see how players make the decisions and deploy and execute when they commit to any of these decisions. Okay, so anyway, here comes Tren. He's coming on in here with a few sand skimmers. Looks like A-Game committing to sand skimmers this game as well. And it's we're off to a sand skimmer fight. A-Game here focus firing with this sand skimmer here of Tren, getting some good damage on it, and now has the high ground advantage on the top of this sand dune. So Tren's force is going to be sent back here. Well, I'm sure A-Game would love to pick up this wounded sand skimmer, but I don't think he's gonna. This one at the back here could get focused, but it's not going to either. So both players coming out that with all their sand skimmers alive, a minor miracle, but testament to their micro. Now let's see. We're up to like 11 sand skimmers for A-Game, and Tren only has the 1 production cruiser, so he's on like less, fewer. He's on 6 sand skimmers. This is already becoming untenable. He needs to kind of try and get out of here. His production cruiser's taking fire, and that's fine. That is fine. And look, he's using the Knefi advantage. The mobility boost that you can see boosting out of this carrier does actually mean that his sand skimmers are faster than A-Gamer's sand skimmers right now. So that's actually like massively relevant. A-Game now just getting up to fleet cap 65. Sand skimmers are really inefficient in terms of supply. Whoa, no, Tren's forgotten about his production cruiser. This is dire. You can't do that. You've got to move it back towards your carrier, bro. Oh no, now he's just getting hounded down. Utterly hounded down by just... this might already be over because this is just like game-winning amounts of sand skimmers. And this is how to do it. This is what Game 1 should have looked like for Tren. You come in here with all these units. It doesn't matter if your opponent has a couple of assault ships. You have to come in. This is your window. This is when you get damage done. And without the production cruiser, I mean, Tren actually cannot make military units now, which makes this very, 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 very difficult indeed. Incredibly difficult. Massively hard. And now look, A-Game is just using hold position micro, and anytime you see him doing that, alarm bells got to be ringing. He just guns down all the sand skimmers. There's nothing left. He'll come in and get the salvages if he feels like it. I mean, he doesn't actually even have to, and that will be that. So wow, just damn. This is brutal. And Game 1 could have looked this way if Tren would have gone in with all his sand skimmers. Like, it would have looked different because A-Game had assault ships, but if Tren came in fast enough, he would have been in and doing damage as those assault ships were just coming out, and then you can start trying to take them, and you just keep pouring on the pressure, and you can definitely win that game. And if you get your opponent's production cruiser, even just one of them, because you've got 2, then you just win. Oh my goodness, a very rapid 2-0 here. A-Game. Damn, that's like 2 games in less than 10 minutes, pretty much. A-Game taking a 2-0 lead here. So we're going to go to Game 3, and we're going to have to see if Tren can take a game. Because at the moment, A-Gamer is just looking unstoppable. But I'll catch you guys in Game 3. Yo! We are loading into Game 3, which is going to be on Galzian territories. So a nice open map, good for a lot of aggression. I've seen Tren do cool things on this map. Let's hope he can do some cool things right now, because he's going to need to. 2 games to 0 down. I mean, he only has to win, what, 3 games in a row against AGameAnx? I mean, easy, right? Anyway, spawning in the south, playing as the black and grey Galzian forces, it is AGameAnx. And spawning in the north, playing as the yellow and red Knefi forces, it is Tren. Just gotta look at that sweet old carrier there. Yeah. Oh, it's a cool unit. You know it is. So let's see what the 2 players are going to do. A-Gamer has retired his base runner, and as ever, this means that he's going to do 2 production cruiser aggression. So I've actually spoken to him about this, by the way. For people who didn't know, I've literally spoken to him. I've been like, okay, so when do you decide? You know, what factors do you take into account when deciding whether to retire your opening base runner or play a different style? And he was just like, I basically only retire it if I'm going to be doing double production cruiser aggression, and I make that call based on my opponent and the map and the feel of the series and stuff like that, you know, intelligent things to take into account when you're making strategic decisions like that. So we're gonna have to see. Whoa, actually A-Game is not producing that 2nd production carrier, so I actually think he yep, he's going for refinery mode. Alright, so he lied to me. Sometimes he retires his base runner and uses it to get a quick refinery mode for a macro opening. Damn you, A-Game. I suppose it would be unfair if he gave away all his secrets, eh? Especially because I might one day end up playing him. It's happened before. Didn't go well for me. Let's see, Sandskimmer fabrication coming up now for A-Game. I can't unfortunately see the research for Tren because, of course, of the limitations of the Deserts of Kharak replay viewer. But that's cool. It keeps me guessing, keeps me on my toes as a caster. Hopefully won't lead to disaster. Gotta think faster about what Tren could be researching. Dearie me, that was a tenuous rhyme, wasn't it? Anyway.
Systems reading.
Actually, tenuous is the wrong word because it was a solid rhyme, but it was just laboured. Laboured is the word that we're looking for. You know, these couple of minutes at the beginning of any RTS game, especially when the players are doing macro builds, this is when I need a co-caster. Because now is when you just kind of talk rubbish about the entire world and just kind of have a bit of a laugh because, you know, there's not a lot to talk about in terms of this game right now. So, okay, well, finally there is. Both players are adding on a production cruiser. There we go. So now back to talking rubbish. Nah, let's focus on the game. Couple of Sandskimmers coming out here for A-Game, going up to 3 of those bad boys, probably going up to a few more. For Tren, he actually has assault ship tech, and the first assault ship will be coming out here shortly. So that assault ship will be proof against any incursion from these from these Sandskimmers. He should be fine against them with his assault ship. Why are there these little squares on this map? Look at this little square. What is that? There's nothing here. I've never noticed that before. There are these kind of little weird squares, but there is actually nothing there. Maybe they're like under the dunes or something, but I wonder what they are. Anyway, A-Game, you can see he's just establishing a wall of eyes here, using his Sandskimmers as a sensor network to establish a lot of vision on the map. A little bit like how Zerg spread out overlords and Zerglings and stuff like that. He just wants to know what his opponent's doing, and right now anything he spots is information, because he has seen nothing. He doesn't know what tech Tren has, he doesn't know anything. So this is going to be a useful time for A-Game here. Okay, so he sees the Sandskimmer because A-Game immediately backpedals his whole line. He doesn't want to fight, he's just kind of looking for information. And, you know, one Sandskimmer coming out of Fog of War is just one Sandskimmer coming out of Fog of War. But it can, you know, the difference between that and many coming out of Fog of War, it always just begins with like 1 or 2, and then if there's a load coming in, they all come in. So you've got to respond quickly. You know, so anyway, yeah, Tren using one Sandskimmer here, just poking up and down the line. He sees that A-Game has a wall of Sandskimmers fanned out in a lot of positions here. Actually, he's going to just encroaches here into weapons range. The first shots are fired, the first damage is dealt, but this Sandskimmer is just, wow, he's running, and he's running hard. A-Game going up to 3 mining locations, 2 production cruisers. Tren following likewise. Both players building up. Looks like this is going to be a big old macro game. Tren, by the way, has researched interceptors. They're on the production crew right now, so we're going to have to see what he's going to do with these. Now, I'm liking the defensive positions here from Tren. The assault ships are in savvy locations to help defend his line against the more mobile Sandskimmers of AGameAnx. That makes a lot of sense. For A-Game, let's check the tech here. So he's gone for railguns. Okay, he's gone for railguns, and that, of course, makes a lot of sense. The railguns will counter the assault ships, which A-Gamer has seen. And the railguns also unlock the honor guard cruiser, which for my money is just great on this map. If you look at and most of the map is just open, so if you can get your honor guard cruisers onto any of these dune lines, onto any of the spines of these dunes, you'll get good lines of sight and you'll be taking sweet shots and you'll probably be happy. So I don't mind going for railgun tech, it makes a lot of sense to me.
Carrier systems operational.
Tren is going for interceptors though, which do kind of just counter those. Can I see how many he's got? Yeah, he's got 2 interceptors right now. So enough to do some damage. I would hate for him to commit them this early because they're not that good against Sandskimmers. And I think the information is worth more than the damage they do against these Sandskimmers. So what I'm saying is better to keep your interceptors a secret than deploy them against these Sandskimmers. So that makes sense to me. Now, he's researching railgun armor here is A-Game. So A-GameAnx getting railgun armor. He's already got level 2. He's going up to fleet cap. Most of these players with oodles of money to spend. Actually, what? For some reason, Tren is not actually mining off of this location. I thought he'd been... Okay, so here come the resource extractors, the salvagers at last. It's been a while. A-Game's been mining fluently off of these locations. There you go, yeah, 4 salvagers to the 1 production cruiser. That is efficient right there. And now here comes a pretty determined backstab. This is the kind of backstab that could conceivably just ignore these assault ships that are on D.
Enemy armor inbound.
Okay, the assault ships, yeah, see, look, they're just getting rinsed here by the Sandskimmers. There's just too many Sandskimmers. And the armor research, until the armor research is done, they're just not that good. So This is a problem right here for Tren, who's going to have to try and hold the line. Here come the additional assault ships feeding across. But here's the thing, he might just be feeding them into a meat grinder here. Because... Okay, here come the interceptors. They have been scrambled to defend this. A-Game knows that this is now, a fight too far. He is overextended. He's actually hemorrhaging a ton of sand skimmers here. So nice defense here from Tren, actually. I was worried for a second. But the interceptors, that was a good time to deploy them because the sand skimmers were already low on health. They were already quite clustered up, which means that the AoE missiles on those interceptors can convert to a number of kills, and that they did, so nice timing there. This is also going to put paid to this follow-up push. The heavy railguns have to scurry for cover because those interceptors are just going to rance out and pick them off with the missiles. They're very soft and vulnerable to interceptors, are these heavy railguns, so that makes a lot of sense to me. I think if you're Tren, it's almost worth just, whilst your interceptors are already out and have a little bit of ammo left, just like bring them out onto the map a little bit, target down the heavy railguns. I know he didn't know they're there, but there's a good bet that something is coming to back this push up, you know? So, and you've already just revealed your interceptors, so I quite like pushing forwards with them. Tren continues to build interceptors, continues to build assault ships. A-Game continuing to add railguns and a third production carrier. Or production cruiser, sorry. So I like that a lot. My money here is on A-Game because if he comes forward with his production cruisers, they'll provide the anti-air. The railguns beat everything on the ground, combined with these sand skimmers, and I don't think there's anything Tren can do about that. And a lot of Tren's money is in these interceptors, 3 of them now. And if they get shot down, you know, that's just. I mean, there's no other meat to this army really, because all of the assault ships will get beaten by those railguns. Actually, wow, A-Game has gone for missile ships as well, so his anti-air, he doesn't even need to commit his production carriers. They can stay back. Cruisers, sorry.
Moving to destination.
So this is a rough spot to be in for Shao.
Armor inbound.
Long range advance set.
Okay, so now we're just kind of on a knife's edge here, just waiting for A-Game to pick his moment. I mean, he has all the tools here. How many heavy railguns are we talking? 6 coming across the map. 2 in position already. 2 missile ships coming in. And look at the spacing on this. It's very nice. Very nice indeed. How many sand skimmers for A-Game? A lot. More than 16. How many sand skimmers for Tren? 14 right now, so...
Sand skimmer taking fire.
We might have the fight. Okay, now Tren knows that there are railguns parked on his doorstep. This is a beautiful position. These assault ships are so open. Tren needs to get these back behind the dune line. If these sand skimmers come forward, they will provide line of sight for the railguns. Here we go. Now he's going to start losing assault ships, and you cannot be doing that. They're too expensive. And here come the interceptors. Bum, 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 bum. Getting some good hits, but the missile ships getting better hits, and the interceptors, 2 of them down already. Insufficient damage was caused. No heavy railguns were picked off. And how do you approach this army now, you know? A-Game just has crushing weight of heavy railguns, and it's just going to be too much, I fear. Somebody get this man a beer, because he's going down. Tren is now researching a siege cruiser, and that could do... Sorry, not researching, it's producing a siege cruiser, which could do some real damage here, but I don't think it's going to arrive in time. And now look, I mean, anything that Tren commits with here is going to die. Nice use of the missile barrage ability there on that missile ship. Let's just check the tech here for A-Game. Wow, he's coming on out with the carrier. He's going to be weaponizing that bad boy. He's just coming in here with a sledgehammer of force, and he is swinging hard. And this is going to be rough. It's going to be real rough. He's researching those power reserves now. This carrier is getting weaponized hardcore. He's denying mining off of one location here, so economic parity has now been disrupted. The siege cruiser reveals itself. Going to take a shot onto these railguns, and to be honest, I think Tren was unlucky not to get some damage onto those railguns there. The siege cruiser just not finding any real hits there. Gets a tiny bit of damage onto some of them, but that's nothing to write home about, really. And that's a shame, but, you know, the barrages on these siege cruisers recharge really quickly, so he'll get another opportunity at this. But now the siege cruiser is revealed. This thing's heavy and slow, so it will get absolutely punished by these railguns. And that's an expensive target. You'd love to have it firing. Well, he's actually got 2 siege cruisers out already, and he's building a third. So Tren, okay, if Tren can hold out long enough and build up like a critical mass of siege cruisers, I think it would have to be at least 3, ideally 4 to 5. Then he can actually do something about this, because the siege cruisers are tough enough that they can ignore the sand skimmers. They obviously ignore the missile ships, and they do heavy damage, heavy AoE damage, you know, so they will actually start clocking on some real pain onto the forces of AGameAnx here. So, okay, Tren has the superior units, but he doesn't have enough of them yet, and he's not mining on enough locations. Are there only... Okay, he's mining with 4 here, okay, good.
Destination verified.
Okay, here comes the push. There we go, it's glass mode engaged. Right, glass mode, woo! So now we can see the unadulterated beauty of the Homeworld Deserts of Kharak game engine here. Just I should probably not be focusing on how awesome this looks and instead be focusing on like casting. Let's do that. So, alright, okay, big skirmish coming down here. One of the siege cruisers getting tickled down by these railguns. He's got to be very careful about this. The more hits those railguns get, the more dead Tren is in this game. And right now they're just bombarding. This siege cruiser just needs to come back. Tren, no! Oh, that was a late reaction. He took 2-3 more barrages than he needed to there, and this siege cruiser was on death's door. There are other heavy railguns out here that would love to finish it off. Oh, it's so low. A-Game does target fire, and that will surely be a dead. Oh, now this one going down as well. Okay, he actually gets some hits on those railguns, but he only gets 2 for one of his siege cruisers. The other siege cruiser brutally damaged, and there are just so many. How many heavy railguns are we on to now? Oh my god! Okay, so that's 10 heavy railguns with a considerable amount of veterancy. Whoa. A-Gamer here in a fantastic... Sorry, AGameAnx here in a fantastic position. I've been saying that wrong all cast. I don't know what it is about his name. And I think Tren is just defeated here. I mean, the railguns are in range of his HQ, and he will be going down. Oh, wow. And I just think that he was very close this game. It's much harder to pin down exactly why it is he lost. Oh, God, that siege cruiser just hooning rounds into those sandstones, getting a ton of damage. Unfortunately, only 1 kill, but looking good anyway. But that'll get picked off here in a moment by these railguns, which are basically unstoppable. And I think Tren here is just only a little behind, but he is just behind. I mean, well, at the critical moment, obviously he's miles behind now, but at the critical moment, you know, he just didn't quite have enough, and then A-Gamer was able to just inch in, deny mining off one base, just inch by inch, shoot down a couple of units here, a couple of units there, just bleed him out slowly. It's like when they met, A-Gamer's army was worth 105, and Tren's army was worth 90, and they were just like, now he's just managed to leverage that advantage in a very grindy start. EMP shells coming out here, hurrah, not seen those for a while. Badoom, badoom, getting 2 railgun kills here, very spicy. And, you know, A-Gamer has to respect this. This is 3 siege cruisers back here with EMP rounds, doing some okay damage. He's going to lose 1 siege cruiser here. Yeah, it goes down, but another one comes out to replace. So he's able to keep building these siege cruisers, but I don't know that it's going to be enough. Okay, finds a sweet barrage here. The Sandskim is sort of driving through the impact area, but typically A-Gamer is very good at counter AoE micro. And it seems, yeah, okay, another siege cruiser barrage here. A-Gamer just treating it with respect here, but Tren, he knows when he's beat, and he is gonna GG out of this game. A-Gamer takes it down in what has to be said is a pretty convincing and rapid 3-0 there. Wow. I just feel like, okay, post-mortem analysis there. Game 1, Tren probably should have won that, but didn't commit. Like, the execution with the 2 production cruiser Sandskimmer aggressive poke, just not like 100% there. And A-Gamer was able to take it with the 2 production cruiser assault ship poke. Game 2, oh yeah, that's right. A-Game with the Sandskimmer aggression was met by a 1 production cruiser defense, was able to take out the production cruiser, and that was, you know, that just closes the game right there. And game 3, I mean, it was a macro game, but A-Game just macroed a little faster, a little harder, came in with a sweeter composition, and like, I don't know, I often feel this way because I'm a Knaef player myself. I like siege cruisers. They're really good. Like, they're amazing. They're good value for money. They hit hard. They have an indirect option. They've got so many things going for them. They're very, very, very good units. But getting there is quite expensive, takes a while, and if you're building them, you can't really be spitting out as many other units as you like, and you usually don't go for railgun research, and it basically means that your army is quite one-dimensional and simple. And I think Knaef players, you know, we've all been there. We've all just been beaten by Gaussian forces, using units that we have access to, using railguns, assault ships, sandskimmers, using everything we just saw A-Gamer doing, and just beating your siege cruisers because they're too blunt. They're not sophisticated enough of a unit to beat a complicated composition. And that's what A-Gamer did. And it often feels very frustrating as Knaef sometimes. You're like, I had my siege cruisers. They're like my best, or one of my best units. They're like super awesome. You know, and in this game, Tren had like 5-6 of them throughout the course of the game. And you just, they just get beaten by heavy railguns. That, like, it happens all the time. And you're thinking like, oh my god, heavy railguns are cheaper. I can research them sooner. It's like, and then you think to yourself, you know, all right, so I'm going to start playing using heavy railguns. I'm going to use, like, you know, I'm going to go for a more normal composition. And then you're like, why am I even playing Knaef? If I'm just going to go for a regular composition, I might as well just play Gaussian, because they're kind of, it's the same composition, but you get a much more, like, your cruiser, your carrier, sorry, is much more, like, weaponizable. It's much easier and to use in a straight up fight, and it's much stronger, and it lets you push a lot harder. So yeah, like that's kind of where I'm at in a way with Knef forces. I'm like, they're amazing, but Galzian's just kind of, it's like you don't need all the flair of Knef because the Galzian just kind of hit home harder, faster, better. I'm not giving up on Knef. I don't think I ever will, because there's something sweet about their carrier launching missiles out, and I still love siege cruisers, and I still love their base runner, and I think blast drones are criminally underused in the mid and late game. They're so fun, seriously. Yeah, just a very frustrating loss there, I imagine, for Tren. Like that kind of win, that kind of loss always feels frustrating. But that's how Deserts of Kharak works. If you apply the appropriate counters, you cut through them like hot butter. I think the game designers once said they wanted every single unit in the game to look and feel completely overpowered when you apply it in the correct way, in the correct circumstances, and it's hitting the correct target. And I think that was the case here. You know, heavy railguns just kind of beat cruiser-class targets, and that's boom. You know, that's what happened. So congratulations to AGameAnx for taking another Artifact Cup down. That was number 8, the 8th Artifact Cup, which he has claimed. Which means I think he has won 6 of them now, and Sparrow 2. I think that's how we're at now. Impressive, to say the least. Now, Artifact Cup number 9. I have the replay pack for that already. It's an all-star cast. All the big names. Tren is in. Sparrow is in. A-Game is in. Arg! Why can't I remember his name? Damn it. That awesome Coalition player who's been in since the early days is in. Discara is in as well, I think. And there's a number of others. So it's just going to be a sweet tournament. I'll be casting every single game. That'll probably be next week, so that'll be starting on, like, I don't know, the 30th, I would have thought. I'll upload those. In the meantime, some Company of Heroes, so do stay tuned. Thank you very much for watching, and for now, this is Magpie842 signing out.